everyone, it's Keren here from tuppencecolored.co.uk. Thank you so much for joining me today. This is what I've been making lately. It's a rather fancy closure on a, I don't know whether you'd call it a narrow box or a thick envelope. And when you open it up, inside is this rather pretty greetings card, and it opens up and you can write a greeting on the inside. Now, I've made this as a Mother's Day card for my husband's mother. My own mother isn't with us anymore. Now, in the UK, we celebrate Mothering Sunday, and we celebrate it before Easter. I know in other parts of the world you have Mother's Day and it happens later in the year. But I thought this sentiment, which is thanks to you, I grew up loved, was a really, really lovely sentiment for a Mother's Day card. So that's what I've made, and if you stay with me, I will show you how I made it. I'm going to be using my diagonal plate with my Simply Scored today. So here it is. It's something that you buy separately, and it just slides on to the Simply Scored. Just to show you, on the back there is an arrow, and can you see that? The reflection of my lights there, and that is the bit that goes up towards the measure at the top of the scoreboard. And now that's converted into a diagonal scoreboard. So I'm going to bring in my piece of Pool Party, which is 6.5 inches square, and I'm going to score it at 3 1/4 and 3. I'm going to rotate it, and I'm going to score it at 3 1/4 and 3. And score it 3 1/4 and 3 and 3 1/4 and 3. Now, if you haven't got one of these nifty gadgets, then you would have to measure at 3 1/4 and then at 3, and then you'd have to do it with a ruler and a scoring tool of some sort. So the diagonal plate makes it very much easier. Put that out of the way, and I'm just going to snip out this area here where my score marks all meet. And I'll just fetch my bone folder, and I'll just burnish all of those scores so that we have a nice crisp fold. I don't want to play. Come on. Oh. So now that's going to fold up into what is basically a flat box, but it gives me a bit of room so that I can put lumpy stuff inside. I want to decorate the front of it, so I've got a bit of our birthday bouquet DSP, and that is 3 3/4 inches square, and I am going to cut it from corner to corner. So I'm making sure that the corners are lined up in the channel of my trimmer, and checking again now that I've put the carrier down. I've just cut that from corner to corner, and I'm going to do the same thing from the point of this triangle up to the base, which makes it slightly easier. Now it's a fairly new blade in my trimmer, so I'm confident that I'll be able to cut the 2 layers in one go, and it has. I'm going to stick my bits of DSP onto the front of my card with snail. Snail is fine for this. So that's the basis of my card finished. I have cut 4 hearts out of Blushing Bride, and the die that I used comes with the mini treat bag in Let's Die set. Now, these are going to make the closure, and they're going to overlap sort of like that. Okay. Now, if I hadn't put the extra score in here to make the depth, they would fit right at the end of the flap, but because we've got that extra depth in there, we have to take them back a bit or the box won't close. And I've cut myself a gauge, just a bit of scrap card, and that is 1/4 inch. All right, so I'm going to use this as a measure. Now, I want this to sit, I want this to be very secure. So I have got some glue dots, and I'm going to put 1, 2 onto the back of the heart, and I'm also going to apply a bit of the multi-purpose glue as well. So the glue dots will give me the fast grab, and the liquid glue, again, can't use my words this morning, will give me the longevity, because you know this card is going to be opened and shut quite frequently, I imagine, I hope. So I'm going to use my gauge there to help me gauge where I want my heart to go, and I'm going to press that down. And I'm going to repeat that on the other 3 sides. So I've got 3 of my hearts stuck down, but the 4th one is going to be slightly different. And the reason for that is if I turn my card over, which way do I want to do it? Right, start there. So that one goes, that one lies on top of that one lies on top of that one. This one has got to lie on top of that one, but it's got to tuck under the last one. And this one is going to be the last one that it all tucks under, if you see what I mean. So I want to make sure that, which way around am I? That way, that this edge isn't stuck down, so that the edge of this heart can tuck into it. So I'm only going to put a glue dot on this side, and I'm only going to put glue on this side. I'm going to keep everything free. So I'm going to put my glue down first so I don't lose sight of which way around I'm doing it. So my glue dot goes on there. That's right. And a little bit of glue goes over there. And just my gauge, here it is. So use that to make sure that I'm putting it back by about 1/4 inch. Make sure it's stuck down. And there we are. So this edge is can now lift up. So I'm going to leave that dry, so it'll all fold up something like that when it's finished. Now I will probably come in and cut off some of those flaps. I've trimmed the points of 3 of the hearts, and I've left it on the one. This is the one that's got the free edge, and I've left that one down because I know now that one's got to go down first. So that one goes down, 2, 3, 4, and that one tucks under, and that's the closure on my Boxvelope. I've die cut out a whole load of shapes from the Botanical Builders set, and I've cut them in Pool Party and Soft Sky and Blushing Bride and Pear Pizzazz and Wild Wasabi, all of the, you know, the subtles colours. And I'm going to ink around the edges, couldn't think of the word for the moment, of them all. Now I won't show you them all, because if I do that it is going to be a very, very long video and you will rapidly lose interest. So I will just show you, first of all, this one is Blushing Bride, and I've got some Blushing Bride ink, and I've got a finger dauber, nice brand new one because I haven't used Blushing Bride before, and I'm just catching the edges of the Blushing Bride. And I put that on one side. Whoops, I'll tell you one thing I want to do is I want to do the middle. And I'm going to go and do that to all of the colours. So the blue ones I'm going to touch with Pool Party, and the green ones are going to get Wild Wasabi. And I'm going to do that and I will be back soon. I've sponged all of my die cuts. Now I'm going to shape them, and I've got a couple of, you know, paper flower shaping tools here, but you could use the end of a paintbrush or an embossing tool, whatever you've got handy. And I've got a nice squishy stamping stroke pricking mat here. So I'm going to start with this large flower, and I'm going to work from the back to begin with, and I've got my rounded end on my flower shaping tool, and I'm just pushing down, just pushing in, and flip it over, and that's shaped. So that's how I do that one. This one, shape one, very similar. But I'm just going to push along the length of the petals, just like that, and then turn it over and press, and that's that shape. The leaves, so the long frondy type of leaves, I'm just going to curl them that way, turn it over, and just run back down the middle again. What else? Oh, the little tiny baby ones. Just push. And these leaves, just running down the middle and then back on the other side, just to give them some shape. So I'm going to go ahead and do all of these, and I will be back soon. I've shaped all of the die cuts now, so now I want to start assembling some of the flowers with some of the centres. So I have some of my Tombow glue on my silicone mat, I have a cocktail stick, and I have my tweezers, and I'm just going to put a few of them together, and then I'll do what I've done before, and I will come back in a little while. So to begin with, I think I have a nice green centre in this one, and just a little bit of the glue onto the back, put that in the middle, and then set that off on one side to set. Okay, let's see, let's do one of this kind next, and I seem to have done that one backwards, so I'll just reshape it. Nobody's perfect. Right, now for this I probably will need a tweezers, so on with my glue and down onto my flower, and that one can go off to one side to dry. Let me have a look. Anything else? I think the rest of them actually are, it's pretty much more of the same. So if you don't mind, I'll see you in a while. This is a piece of Whisper White card, which is 4 inches by 8 inches and folded at the 4-inch mark. And I've taken off just, about 1 millimetre around the edge. And I've mounted a piece of Blushing Bride, which is 4x4, on top of it. So this part is going to stick inside my, my Boxvelope, and this bit is going to open up so that you can write a greeting inside. So I'm going to attach this, I think, with some fast fuse. And the trick, as I've said before, with fast fuse is a light touch and that little flick off at the end. Just click, run and flick, and that should be plenty. So I'm making sure that I've got my card the right way up. So that one needs to be on the left, because that's the one with the flap, and that's where I've decided I wanted to finish. And I'm just going to centre this inside my card and give that a good press down, and now I've got an opening card inside my envelope box. Right, so this is a piece of the same DSP with different pattern in the same pack, and I've cut that to 3 3/4 inch square so that it just fits nicely on top of the Blushing Bride. And this time I'm going to use snail. And there we go. And one more layer. This is one of our tea lace doilies. I'm going to use a whole one, throwing caution to the winds, because after all, this is a card for my mother-in-law, who is a very special lady, and she deserves the best. And again, I'm just centering that inside. And that's going to be the basis for me to build my bouquet on. So these are all of the flowers and the foliage that I cut out and sponged and embossed and did all of that work on. So now I want to use some of these, not all of them because it would be a bit much, to make a bouquet in the middle of my card. So before I stick anything down, I'm just going to play with the arrangement here. So something like that. I think I'm happy. I may change my mind as I go along, but we shall see. So here's my silicone mat, and here's my Tombow adhesive, and I'm just going to put a dollop. There we are. I think I'm nearly out of it. I think this bottle is nearly finished. It's making some interesting noises. And a cocktail stick. And now I'm just going to just apply a little bit of glue, a little bit of my Tombow onto the back of my foliage and my flowers, and I'm just going to make an arrangement on the card. So this bit is going to be fast forwarded, so I will see you in a little while. Quite happy with that arrangement. In the end I did change it a little bit. I just thought that the one very large flower was enough of a focal point, so I decided less was more, and I left it at that. So I've just got a few other bits and pieces now to put onto this, and we will call it done. So first of all, I stamped this saying from this Sweet Sayings, which says, "Thanks to you, I grew up loved," because I thought that was a lovely sentiment for a Mother's Day card. And I stamped it in Calypso Coral on Whisper White, and I've just flagged the ends there a little bit, and I'm going to put that into place with some dimensionals. Oops. Which have developed a life of their own. So I'm just putting the dimensionals on either end, and I'm just going to tuck them across the card just like that, and I'm going to just tuck the petals of the flowers over the top there. And one last thing that I want to put on, and I've made a bow out of the pool party glitter ribbon, and isn't this gorgeous? It is so beautiful. In the autumn winter catalogue we had a glitter ribbon, and that was kind of like a very heavily textured glitter, and this is more, it's almost like a lame kind of fabric. It's glittery both sides, and it's quite light, and I'm going to put that onto my card, but I am going to chop the ends off a little bit because they're a bit long. So I've just ordinarily, just tied myself an ordinary bow, and since we've still got the Tombow here, we'll use that to stick it down. And again, I'm just going to tuck the foliage over the top of it and press that down. Oops, got my scissors tangled up with my pricking tool, my piercing tool. There we go. And that is pretty much it. So here is the finished card in, I don't know what you call it, a boxelope, I suppose. And I'm going to close that up now. 2, 3, 4, and pop that away and give it to my mother-in-law along with her gift when Mothering Sunday comes around. So meanwhile, I do hope that you have enjoyed this tutorial, and if so, I would really love it if you would leave me a comment, or if you would click the like button. And if you have enjoyed the tutorial and you'd like to see more, then please do consider subscribing to my channel, because I will be posting more projects very soon. I've got a blog, I've got a Facebook page, and you can get there from the links in the information box, which is underneath this video. And I've got a Stampin' Up shop as well, so if you want to get hold of the items that I've used in making this project, then that would be a good place to start. But for now, I thank you very much for watching, and I do hope that I will see you again soon. Goodbye.